Hey, peace and harmony here with you today. Following up on the first video, sorry about that. Just picking back up where we left off. In terms of philosophy of going vegetarian, a lot of people have different reasons, health reasons, weight reasons. But my experience has been a connection to a little bit more of a philosophical base. As I mentioned in the previous video, one of the first books I read was Gandhi's My Experiment with Truth, and this was in college. And he looked at the different impact different food had on one's emotions, and really how our diet directed the course of our life. He found that he got into quite a bit of personal trouble when he was eating a lot of meat, and he was engaging in a lot more lustful activities, aggressive activities, and this actually, got him off track in his life, where he was not attentive to some situations that he wanted to in his life. His emotions were just kind of like checking him out. And so he decided to experiment with the impact of meat on the emotion, the effect of spices on the emotion, the effect of sugars and things of that nature, different oils on in our diet, and the impact on our emotion. And he found that the ingestion of a lot of meat tends to cause an increase of aggression, violence, things of this nature, which cause a lot of issues and troubles in life. And that very emotion will lead one off track. And I very much agree with him. And upon reading his book and doing some experiments, that really catapulted me to become vegetarian and stick with it for the rest of my life. And it's really been one of the best decisions I've ever made, because I really feel that quite a bit of heavy meat consumption can become very toxic. As they have done other studies, and I was discussing this in the first video, where it's kind of gory, but when they tend to slaughter cattle, pigs, chickens, things like that, it's done in such a manner that the animals that are going off to slaughter, they're letting out cries, they're releasing hormones, stress hormones into their blood. They hear, basically cattle on up the line being slaughtered, and they hear their cries, and this sends them all into kind of like an uproar and a communication, almost like a death walk, if you will. And a lot of these emotions within the cattle are released into their muscles and then kind of locked in and preserved. So there's that concept, but I think, as I was discussing too, just from a health and digestion standpoint, it's very well known that meat especially the red meats, are very hard to digest, and it takes a lot of energy out of your body to go into your stomach and digest these meat products. So, a lot of people talk about feeling sluggish or mentally sluggish. Well, there's a real physiological base for this. So, in my experiment with going vegetarian, as I mentioned, it began with Gandhi's book, My Experiments with Truth, and he talks about the vegetarian diet. You can check it out from your library or order it. I would definitely recommend it. It began the philosophy for my going vegetarian, because I really experimented, and I found that I did feel quite a bit better once I started to cut meat out from my diet. And I went very gradually. I cut out the red meats, I cut out the pork, and then I cut out the chicken. So, and then eventually I did keep seafood in my diet, but I've become even more of a vegan, plant-based diet since then. And I really do feel that there's quite a bit of toxicity in a lot of those meats, the animal oils. There's also a lot of studies that's impact on cardiovascular health, where a lot of the fats, even things like butter, we're talking animal-based products, where a lot of those animal fats themselves are also very difficult to digest, and they deposit plaque, what's called plaque deposits in the arteries, and these can be in the neck, the arteries in the neck, as well as in the heart, and they become almost like the plaque that you see in your teeth, but in terms of a hardening in your arteries. And this can very much be prevented by reducing meat in your diet. So from a health standpoint, it's definitely better for your cardiovascular system to reduce the meat. I would recommend doing it gradually if you're kind of hooked and addicted to it. And then really look at going for a full plant-based diet. Really incorporating more produce. And I'll go into kind of how to do this successfully and on a balanced protein-wise in future videos. But I would say the first step is look at your philosophy for wanting to do it and find a commitment within yourself so that you can make the transition successfully. Peace and harmony coming to you today. Please subscribe for more great videos, tools and discussion and support on a lot of very important topics. Love ya. See you in the next video.